Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslock talking about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and today I really want to talk about software development challenges, and I think two really key challenges with web development and any sort of software that you are building. I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and this is something that I've been dealing with at this moment. I've been struggling with it, and I wanted to be as real as I possibly can with this particular video to sort of describe what's going on. So again, I've been building this sort of reciprocity platform, and I noticed that it does take a little bit longer than I would like for the work to go through and actually find somebody to edit it. I think at this point, I think it's like 20 days or so, which is kind of long, to be honest, for it to find somebody. And I would like it to be a lot more quicker, and I have plans to do that, and I want to really get to those particular plans. But here's the thing with software development, and I think this is the key challenge to anybody that's doing anything like this. So if you're building something, along the lines of whatever you're building, right? Maybe it's some sort of software. The two key things that I think are probably the hardest to deal with is this thing where we actually have a behavioral tendency where we set an expectation, we see where we're going to go. If you're any sort of creator or developer or anything like that, if you're developing anything at all, you know where it's going to be, you see it in your mind, and it's crystal clear. But there's a number of different steps to get there, and what we end up doing and end up wanting to do is get there a lot quicker than what we'd like to. So in my mind, I know that there's these limitations with all the kind of software that it's that I'm building out, and it's really irritates me. But at the same time, there's very little revenue going into the software. I'm just sort of funding it on my own. My wife and I are funding it, and I want to build out more stuff, but you can't necessarily build a lot of stuff out. You have to sort of go at the pace of the revenue that's coming in. So the key thing is the fact that one key sort of software development challenge is the fact that you can't sort of outbuild your resources that you currently have, right? So for me, I can afford a tiny development team in India at this moment. I had one in Ukraine, but now I've switched to another team in India that has been doing some wonderful things, and I'm really happy and excited to work with them. But at the same time, I have things that I would love to do, but I can't get there. So this leads to a lot of behavioral things that we often hear about in software development, like mission creep, for example, where somebody might sort of develop something or want something done, and they slowly sort of incrementally add more things as they're going, because it's not really like the thing that they have is not necessarily concrete. And this is a real problem with any sort of knowledge thing that you're doing, right? Because knowledge kind of bleeds together, like ideas bleed together, and it becomes really easy to sort of bleed these things together. And so bleeding meaning the fact that they overlap and you can easily pull things in your mind, but it requires a lot of steps and a lot of work and a lot of resources. And resources, in my case at this moment, is time and money, right? So time being, that's why I'm getting an Indian team to do this, is because I don't have the time. I have the idea, but I don't have the time, because I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, so I'm dedicated to doing research and other kind of stuff, and doing videos at this moment. So there's lots that I just don't have the time to really put into it, but I can get somebody to help me out. In the resources, financial resources, you need to sort of start bringing revenue in before you can start building things out. So that's one key challenge, is that sort of expectancy that you have, and you want to actually do more than you like to do. And the second key thing is sort of building an audience as you go, and making sure that you actually have a particular audience first before you actually build something out. And that was, to be honest, that was a mistake that I had made. I should have done these YouTube videos first, with talking about what I'd like to accomplish and things like that with this software. And then hopefully once, build out this particular audience, and I could start serving them with building out the software. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't have actually did the videos then that way. So this was a way, sort of forced me to actually put out these videos of all, trying to be as helpful as I possibly can. It's been an experience, but a lot of the stuff you don't necessarily know, right, before you actually get it done. So this is a key software development challenge, I think. So these two things are key software development challenges that kind of really overlap. In the sense that you have to build something and build an audience first before you can actually start serving them in any sort of way. And then that allows you to get more resources by serving them and helping them, and then which allows you to develop things faster and get to the point where you actually have something that it's not taking like 20 some days to get it done. In terms of the editing that's getting done. So in my case, right? So in your case, it's different, I'm sure. Maybe you're doing some other creative endeavor, right? I don't know what it is, some artistic endeavor that takes a long time. And how do you actually deal with these kind of things, right? So I think to keep yourself in check and to keep yourself sort of, making sure that you're not overextending yourself in any sort of way. There's three things I think are really important. The first one is, just having somebody that gives you a reality check every once in a while and sort of keeps you in tune. For me, it's having my wife and family that's here and that helps me really keep things that I just don't sort of devote everything to this and put all my money into this particular thing and overrun, just being, because it could easily overrun and you can invest more into something like this really quickly than you necessarily should. Because it's easy to do. You're really excited about it and you want to sort of hold back, right? So that's one way to sort of navigate this sort of software development challenge. Another thing is just to be very ruthless with the idea, and ruthless being, you really want to get there, but just not doing that thing until it's ready. And that takes a lot of willpower, right? So it's going to be definitely a key challenge with the web development or one way to really navigate that is just being ruthless and just not doing it, even though you'd like to do it. And know, so this is the third thing, just know that if you keep pushing forward and you have a very long-term perspective, you can overcome a lot of these challenges and it becomes the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing that you're tackling, right? So there's lots of, it's never done, it's never finished, and I think that's definitely a key thing to think about, a key challenge with web development or developing any sort of software, right, is that it never ends and you can keep building on it and just know you have this long-term perspective that, yeah, I'm going to keep working at this probably for 5-10 years, maybe even longer, I don't know, but just having that idea that you're just keep pushing this thing forward and correcting little things every once in a while, it's going to make it better as you go. And I think those three sort of insights, right, so the two key challenges to any sort of software development, is the fact that you have this sort of expectancy, you want to get to some place, but you can't get there because you don't have the resources. Second thing is building an audience. That's a really big thing, is having that audience first. And then ways to navigate that is making sure you have somebody to keep you in check. Whoever it is, maybe it's a partner that you have, or a family member, whatever it is, just being really, and the second thing is being really ruthless. And then finally, just knowing that you can keep pushing forward and you have a long-term perspective, you'll actually get there. And this has been very, very helpful for me with building this particular platform. It is making progress. I am getting there. Things are getting done. It just takes a lot longer than you always think it's going to. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say take care. And if you are doing any sort of software development or anything like that, make sure you can leave some comments below and let me know what other sort of challenges I'm missing out. Always happy to hear about this kind of stuff. So thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.